Folks, obviously the income examples discussed in this video are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.
Justin Berengia here, also known as the Hippie Jedi. And in this video, I'm so excited. Actually, in this video series, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a lot of money blogging. And I'm qualified to teach you because I've made boatloads of money, which we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. I do just want to let out this income disclaimer and let you know that the results that my wife and I have received inside the Empower Network are not typical, and you can see the average earnings on the website. But I just want to take you back to when we first joined the Empower Network and started to blog here. I actually struggled with my wife for about 5 years to make any consistent money on the internet. I've been a blogger. I actually started blogging years ago. I just never made a lot of money blogging until I started to use the Empower Network blogging platform. So prior to joining, we were struggling, living in Costa Rica. Our rent was $450 a month. I remember being at one of the lowest points in my life, and it was actually on my wife's birthday, and this hurt me so much. It was one of the most miserable nights of my life because I took my wife out on her birthday, to enjoy and celebrate, and she chose what she wanted on the menu. And when I looked at my wallet, I realized I didn't have enough money to give my wife the meal that she wanted on her birthday. That broke my heart. It still pains me just thinking about it. And so I knew I had to do something with my life, so I decided to really take the Empower Network serious and to actually start using my blog. But the truth of the matter is I didn't have any other option. I wasn't moving back with my parents, you know what I mean, or roommating with some people and living a lifestyle where I basically wouldn't be able to express myself or be myself and feel uncomfortable, right? So I said, I have a blog. Fortunately, it's inexpensive to have a blog, right? It's not like starting up your own brick and mortar business or buying a franchise where you need hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, or you need to borrow money from banks and this and that. I just said, here's the deal. If other people are blogging successfully, like David Wood and David Sharp, I'm going to figure out how to make this work because I don't have any other option. So I made a decision right there that I would figure out and do whatever it takes to make money with my blog. Long story short, I started to succeed. Many people don't know when we started inside the Empower Network, we started from the bottom with nothing. We didn't have money for paid advertising, so the only option was to blog. And in this video training series, I'm going to be breaking down some of the major objections people have when they first start. And I'm going to teach you how to overcome those objections and how to overcome those fears so that you too can make a lot of money online using your blog right here with the Empower Network. So I was struggling. This is a true story. About 18 months ago when we were living in Costa Rica, we started to take things serious, right? And here's what happened. We went to our first event. We started blogging consistently. We turned around our first $26,000 month almost out of thin air. Think about this for a moment. Struggling, barely able to get by, then all of a sudden, focusing your energy in the same way you're going to focus here with us with blogging, and then all of a sudden, creating a miracle in your life and creating that financial freedom, which gives us freedom mentally and spiritually. I think it's all connected personally. And I just want to share, these are some of the accomplishments we've been able to attain thanks to blogging, right? And this is a big number, and I just want to say again, results not typical, but this is what's possible, folks, when you have a dream. Because when my wife and I got started, we didn't have extra money to figure out who to pay to do advertising. We got down and dirty, with the blog, and we decided to make it work. And this is the first check that, actually this is the second check we collected on stage. I actually never got the first check. And you can see the total amount here, and you can see the date. that we received this check, and notice it's January 19th, 2013. You can see the amount right here, and now I want to fast forward, and this actually represented an accumulation from the time we started with Empower till January. So this is about a year's earnings. It took my wife and I about a year to get to this income bracket with the Empower Network of $191,000. But now I want to fast forward and get you caught up to where we are today. And this is important I share this with you because you need to understand what's possible for yourself, because there's nothing magical or special or different about us. This is the next check we received. This was actually in Chicago. This is April 20th, 2013. And as you can see here, Justin and Dee Varengia, we collected a check for $143,000. Now, what makes this check a big deal? Well, we accomplished this. Basically, it says it right here, in the first quarter of 2013, which means within 90 days, folks. This is a possibility. This is the power of what you have your hands on. $143,000 in 3 months, folks. And then we're going to fast forward 3 months later, because every event, the sex get checkier and checkier. I meant to say the checks get sexier and sexier. So here's the next one, right? We collected this in Denver in July of 2013, and this time, this is for the second quarter, if you can see that here. For the second quarter of 2013, 90 days, we generated a whopping $198,325 thanks to blogging, folks. So this stuff really works. Now, as you can see, the income continues to rise and get bigger and bigger and bigger because we treat this blog very serious. Even though it's very inexpensive, it's practically free to get started. Even though I treat this, even though it only cost us a few bucks to get started, I treat this business like $1 million business, and now it's rewarding my wife and I like $1 million business. So this was July. Now I want to take you, right now we're in September, so I want to take you to last month, what we've been able to generate with our blog inside the Empower Network. And just last month, folks, my wife and I generated $126,000 in 1 month. So you can see this was 3 months. Now, 1 month, over $100,000. And I'll tell you, for September, we're only halfway through the month, but we've already generated over $75,000 this month. So this month's inevitable, it'll be over 6 figures again. So what I'm about to share with you in this training, it really works, it's effective, and it will transform your life if you act upon it. So what are the most common questions newbies will tell me when they first get started? Well, I just got this blog. How do I blog? Which is question number 1. And here's the truth. How do you overcome your fears? You do. You take action, right? So what I want you to do, even if you've never blogged before, here's the deal. How do you blog? You log into your blog and you create some content. Well, the next question people will ask me, well, what do I blog about? Now, here's the beauty about a blog. It don't matter what you're promoting. See, many of the people that use our blogging platform, maybe they own a brick and mortar business, maybe they own their own little small startup business, maybe they own a Fortune 500 company, maybe they're just a marketer, promoting the Empower Network. Regardless of what it is that you're promoting, it does not matter. You can use our blogging platform to build anything, because at the end of the day, it's all about traffic. How many eyeballs are you getting to your blog? So what do you blog about? Well, we're going to be talking about this throughout this video training series. I'm going to be talking about identifying your target audiences and having a congruent message which resonates with them. But the bottom line is, folks, and this is just the truth, you can blog about anything. Where would I start? Well, if I first got started, I would blog about something I'm passionate about, right? For example, if I read a book, I would learn a lot and be inspired, probably. If I watched a video from David Wood and Dave Sharp or listened to the Empower Hour, I would be inspired. And that's why I do these things. I get inspired and I express myself. What makes blogging so valuable? Well, a blog is like a personal hub of people getting to know who you are deep down inside your heart. So when you write from the heart and write what you're passionate about, because it's easy to create content when you love the subject, right? If I was to talk about cooking and I have no passion for cooking, I'm not even into food a lot. Just to be honest, if I didn't have to eat, I probably wouldn't, because it's not my biggest passion in the world. If I had to create content on how to cook and recipes, just being honest with you, I would not know where to begin. But I can talk about the things that I love, right? I can talk about yoga, I can talk about meditation, I can talk about Qigong, the art of cultivating vital energy. I can talk about books that have influenced my life. I can talk about things like, well, some of the books that have influenced my life are Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Louise Hay, reading some of her books, Robert Kiyosaki's books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. There's a lot of books out there that inspire me. So I'm into this stuff. I'm into personal development. I'm very passionate about it, so I can talk openly about it over and over and over again, and it never gets old, and I always have that fresh excitement. So how do I blog? You do it by doing it. Point blank period. Here's something I want to remind you of. When you create a blog, you can go edit your blog at any time. So if you say something you didn't want to say, or you want to change, or you're unsure, do it anyways. And then if you want to actually edit it, you can log in to your back office, click on Edit Post, and then you can update that content. So understand there's nothing to fear, and that's why you just need to face your fear, create your first blog, and what do you write about? Anything. And here's another suggestion. If you're brand new and you never shared your story, share your story, folks. We're actually going to be talking about that. There's a power in sharing your story and basically using your story to create a lot of money with your blog. And that's a little bit more we're going to talk about here in the next video. So I want you to take some notes here going through this video series. I want you to get excited. I want you to get pumped up, because this can be a reality for you folks if we can start from the bottom, not have any outs in life, not know what we're going to do, not have any special education, and we can focus here with our blog and now generate a six-figure monthly income thanks to the Empower Network blogging system. You can do this too, my friends. I truly do believe in you. I'll see you in the next video.
Folks, obviously the income examples discussed in this video are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.
Justin Varengia back. Welcome to the next video on how to make money blogging with the hippie Jedi, Justin Varengia. In this video, I'm going to give you some really valuable golden bars that you can apply to honestly start making some real cheddar on the internet with your blog here. One of the things I want to talk about is number one, first and foremost, blog daily. If you're going to do something, do it right. And there's a reason it's part of your 8 core commitments. And let me just share from my experience a little bit of my story some more. I said I blogged for years before even getting to the Empower Network, but a part of the reason I never had a lot of success as a blogger, well, I was never consistency, because I was never taught to blog daily. So I would blog like once or twice, or if I was lucky, 3 or 4 times in the month. And I can tell you that's not the strategy for success with your blog. When you're first starting out, here's what I did inside Empower Network. I blogged every day. And it was after about 90 to 120 days. It was around that mark, somewhere between 90 and 120 days of blogging consistently every day. Even though I wasn't getting a lot of results in the very beginning, I can project into the future, and I just knew that if I was consistent, that I would perfect the skill and eventually create a lot of money doing it. And here's an analogy. I actually learned this from Bruce Lee by reading one of his books when I was younger, and he said, I don't fear the opponent who has practiced 10,000 kicks, 10,000 different kicks one time. I fear the opponent who has practiced one kick 10,000 different times. And this is a metaphor for mastery. And I do believe in life and in business, with blogging, it's the same way, folks. If you do something every single day with consistency, and you focus on being your best self and getting better and showing and proving, not comparing yourself to the hippie Jedi, you know what I mean? Not comparing yourself to Tracy Walker or Chuck Marshall or David Wood or David Sharp or Lawrence Tan or Vic or Tony Rush, but comparing yourself to you, right? Becoming the best you that you can possibly be, because every day you will get better, and I can tell you this, after 90 days of blogging, you'll know how to blog and you'll be very confident in your skills. If you're shooting video every day while you're blogging, which is what I recommend if you want to be a good communicator, your video skills will become impeccable. Because here's the truth. Do anything every day, you will eventually master it. And you'll master it unconsciously without even knowing about it, which is true mastery. So something you need to keep in mind, it's super, super important, especially in the beginning of your business, to be blogging every day. Because let me share a little bit more of how it works. You create a blog, and you just created this new home on the internet for people to get information. The more homes that you create, the more people that are going to find your information. But here's the next question that will arise. What's better, Justin? Is it quality or quantity? Should I create a really good blog post every day, or should I create 100 meaty core half-assed blog posts? And here's from my experience of being in the trenches as a blogger. Personally, what I would do, my recommendation, I would put all my energy in creating the best content that I can possibly create in one blog post, right? And I would try to knock this blog post out as fast as possible. I don't want to try to spend 20 hours on a blog post, because you can actually make more money doing something after you create the blog post, which we're going to talk about, and I'm so excited. But what you want to do, create a really valuable piece of content. Try to knock it out. I mean, if you can do some speed blogging, like you have some training in the 15K where Chris Record teaches you how to create a blog within 15 minutes. I mean, even if it took you an hour for a really good post, but then you can take the rest of your time in the day and focus on driving traffic to your blog. And there's lots of ways to do this, various different ways. I do highly suggest picking up the 15K per month formula if you want specific strategies from search engine optimization, SEO, social syndication strategies that I personally use to get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to see my content using Facebook groups. We actually teach this inside of the product. So if you want to get the $1 million education and know all the how-tos, pick up the 15K per month formula. But just getting back to the question, personally, I don't see anything clever about creating 20 blog posts in one day without focusing on providing good content, and then just praying to the SEO Jesuses like Troy Shanks, and just praying that you get ranked by the SEO Jesus. I like to be in control of things. So personally, what I'll do, create one valuable blog post, and then I'll take all the time that I have to share that blog post in every medium that I can, from email to social syndication on Facebook to Facebook groups and everything that I can think of. But I want to focus my energy on getting traffic to the blog, not just creating a bunch of hypey, half-ass blogs and then just praying that they get into the search engines, because that, in my opinion, is not a recipe for success. So quantity versus quality, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to blogging, quality, my friends. It's all about quality. Now I want to talk about the power of setting intentions before creating the blog post. This is probably the most powerful thing that you can do. I actually learned this from David Wood because I was at his house, we were masterminding, and we were shooting some videos, and he actually shared his formula of what he personally does to set an intention before he does anything, such as shoot a video or create a blog or speak at an event. He always does this, okay? So super important you follow along. What is the purpose of your blog post? And the reason you got to ask this question is because I believe in alchemy. As crazy as that sounds, this hippie believes in alchemy, right? I believe that what you expect from the universe is what the universe will give you, and you can actually use the unconscious. You can set the intention to the universe of, I want to connect, and this is just an example of an intention I would personally set. You can be creative and just be yourself and set your own, but I may say, I want to resonate with the people that watch this video so well that they watch the video and they click the link below, or if I'm creating a blog post like we're talking about here and how to make a lot of money blogging, I want people to read this blog post and get emotionally charged, and I want this blog post to inspire them to take action, you know? And I may set an intention, I want 500 people to read this blog today, and I will not create another blog until I've set or accomplished my target. So if my target's to get 500 people to read this blog, well, guess what I'm going to focus my energy on? Even if it takes me several days, folks, I'm going to set my intention on actually getting 500 people to that blog before I spend time creating another blog. Because here's the deal. Why do you want to spend all this time creating a blog if nobody is going to read it? That's why I think it's so important we focus on quality, and then we can take the time to get the traffic we need to that, and we can set the intention so that when we're creating and writing the blog, we're downloading from the universe, and the universe is telling us what to say based upon our intention, folks. And that's just the power of intentions. Before I speak on a call, I have no idea what I'm going to say. Before I speak at events, and now we speak in front of thousands of people at different Empower Network events, I don't pre-think anything. I download from the universe like a true alchemist, right? Like a true hippie Jedi, because I set an intention and I just tell the universe what I'm looking to do. Recently I came out on stage and people said it's the most powerful speech they've ever seen in their entire lives. And they asked me how I prepared for that. The truth of the matter is, I started to do some qigong. That's a little breathing exercise, right? And I just started to set my intention to the universe that I want people to feel my passion. I want people to feel my heart. I want to touch people like they've never been touched before. I want to inspire people so they can do the things that which inspire them. And when I speak today, I want to speak life into my audience so that people can truly resonate with the hippie Jedi. So that's an example of an intention, folks. And I want you to set intentions before anything that you do, especially before creating a blog post. What's the purpose? Who are you looking to connect with? What's the reason you're sharing this information? And if you do this, your chances of connecting really well with your audience is going to go through the roof. And the last thing I want to talk about in this specific video is the power of being you. Guess what? In the word unique, it starts with the letter U, because you are what makes the word unique. Do you understand if you try to copy other people, you're not going to be authentic with your audience? And when you're shooting videos or writing blog posts, people know what's up. You know, they're lied to their whole life growing up, going to school and watching the media and watching politicians tell them this or promise them that. People can sense bullshit a mile away, and most people have a pretty good BS meter. So what I would recommend is always be your authentic self. Don't try to pretend to be someone you're not, because here's a beautiful thing. You can be yourself and succeed here. Do you know, for the first time in our lives, my wife and I can be ourselves in a home-based business and create an abundance of success, and because we're ourselves, we create more success. You know what's cool about the Empower Network and your blog here? You can talk about anything, right? So I can talk about weird things I got made fun of growing up for talking about meditation, or talking about the chakras, or talking about conspiracy theories and believing that extraterrestrials are visiting us from different parts of the world and the cosmos, and believing in all this weird stuff. I can express myself and say that authentically because that's who I truly am. But what I want you to be is your best self, and be you and be authentic, because it will resonate with other people and it'll build that trust factor so that when you actually share and express yourself on the blog, people take you serious. There's nothing more satisfying in life than expressing oneself truly. And that's another Lee Jun Fan quote for my Bruce Lee fans out there watching this video. So I hope you got some gold bars out of this video. In this next video, I'm going to be breaking down some more tips, so stay tuned.
Folks, obviously the income examples discussed in this video are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.
Welcome back, my friends. Justin Varengia here with the third and final video on how to get money blogging here with the Empower Network. And I always save the best for last. I'm actually notorious for that. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you ways of getting traffic to your blog. Here's something I have to just let you know. Stop saving your best content for your future. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times people will hold back. They're like, I have so much to share, but I don't want to share everything that I know now. And I'll just scratch my head and I just kind of laugh. I think a lot differently than that. I think you should take your best content that you have up here and put that down in your blog and provide value, because here's the truth. If you provide no value in your blog, nobody cares. And it don't matter how much traffic that you get to your blog, if the message is not consistent, it's not congruent with whom you are, and there's no value, you're doing it all in vain. So my recommendation, provide the best possible content that you can. Something that I became very famous for inside Empower Network as I was coming up through the ranks is my blogging. I would provide so much value that people would actually read my blog and they couldn't help but leave a comment, because there was so much value in it. And they couldn't help but share my blog post with their friends. Why? Because they felt if they weren't sharing it, they were doing a disservice to their friends, because so much value was in it. So I started to get all this viral sustainability, which is an incredible thing. And if you want to learn more specifically about viral sustainability, pick up the Costa Rica Intensive Mastermind, because that's where I've learned this concept. I realized that I only have so many friends, right? Let's just talk about Facebook. I only have so many friends on Facebook. So if I share something, it's great, but if I'm only sharing it with the select group of individuals, well, then it's limited. So I realized if I can provide damn good content that other people aren't taking the time to create, well, guess what's going to separate me from everyone else? People are going to want to share my post. People are going to comment a lot on my posts. I'll get a lot of social interaction, and I'll tap into this viral sustainability from their friends. You know what I mean? So this allowed me to get a lot more viral a lot faster than I normally would if I didn't know about viral sustainability. So now let's just talk about different methods of getting traffic. Well, where does the traffic come from? And I share my story quite often that when I joined, I had no money for paid advertising, so my only option was free advertising. So what is free advertising? Well, blogging is free advertising, right? Social media, sharing your blog via Facebook, Twitter, and social media is free advertising. And this is what I focused on because it's all that I knew how to do. So what I would do personally is go in Facebook, use some social syndication strategies. I actually teach my personal strategy inside the 15K per month formula on how I get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to see my blog for free, because this is the technique that I decided to master when I was in the trenches, realizing I didn't have any other options out there, folks. So what I want you to do is become very clear that you're going to provide value on your post, and you're not going to save your best stuff. You're going to give it to the people. Then you're going to focus on a strategy where you can get traffic to your blog post. And I said this analogy earlier from Bruce Lee on mastery. He feared the opponent that practice one kick 10,000 times. It's the same thing. You decide to perfect a skill set. And for some of you, that may be on Facebook. My wife and I generate hundreds of leads daily just on Facebook. For somebody else, that may be SEO. For somebody else, it may be doing some paid traffic strategies to get people to your blog. But at the end of the day, how you get the traffic to your blog is not the most important thing. At the end of the day is how much traffic did you get to your blog. Choose a technique, perfect it, become a master at it, and I'm telling you, 90 days is all that it takes to truly master something if you decide right now to indulge yourself in it. Right? I was watching a special on Bobby Fischer. It was called Bobby Fischer versus the World, and this guy is a genius. And how did he become the best chess player in the entire world, the grand champion at the age of like 15? as far as the United States. And then when he was at age 29, became the best chess player in the world. He beat Boris Spassky. How did he do this? He became obsessed with what he was, and what he was studying with the game of chess. And I ask you, if you want to treat this serious and you have no skill and this is all brand new to you, it's a beautiful thing. And where you're at right now, at the right place at the right time, is a very special place. But it's simple, folks. You do something every day, you master it, you figure things out. Every day you get a little better, and then before you know it, like myself, I'm going to an Empower Network event and collecting a big fat check on stage because I was willing to do what the average person was unwilling to do, which is blog daily, share valuable content, perfect a marketing skill where I can drive traffic to my blog on a daily basis. So I always have visitors, I always have new eyeballs checking it out and reading the content, folks. This is the secret to sponsoring 2 people a day, and that's exactly what we've been able to accomplish when we started doing free advertising. Not until we had our first $26,000 month did we even experiment with paid advertising. See, a lot of people don't know that. We did it purely from blogging because we understood the power in a blog, and with consistency you can create miracles in your life too because you have all the tools that you need. Here with the new blog beast, ENV 2.0, it's something that I didn't even have when I got started, you know what I mean? So it actually gives you the edge over everybody else. So focus on some traffic. It's not hard to figure out. I can tell you, when you use all your unconscious resources on focusing on one thing, because where your focus goes, your energy flows, you will figure out how to make it happen. You set an intention. This is one of my first intentions when I started blogging consistently every day, and I made a decision I was going to make it work. I said, I will not go to sleep until I get at least 100 people to read my blog. And then I'd accomplish that goal. I'd set another goal. I'm not going to go to sleep until at least 20 people comment on my blog. And then I set another goal once I accomplished that, and I said, I'm not going to go to sleep until 200 people read my blog and leave me a healthy amount of comments that are very positive. And guess what happened? I attracted it because I demanded it from the universe, just like the alchemist does. You know what I mean? You communicate directly by setting your intentions, and it's your belief level. See, I have a belief of certainty even back when I was poor. And this is important I point out right here because you're watching this right now and you're watching me rant and you're like, this guy's a little convincing. Maybe I really could blog, but I'm really not sure if I can make it work. Well, I'll just tell you, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I'm just being blunt with you because I understand how the universe works enough, right, to attract what I want. You need to expect great things in your life. You need to expect your results. You need to start blogging daily with the expectation that within the next 90 to 120 days, you will be generating 20, 30 leads a day for free marketing using your blog, because this is how you make money blogging, folks. You just do it, you set the intentions, you get the traffic, you have the determination, and you do whatever it takes to make it work. Next, I want to talk about the importance of having a congruent message. Earlier, I asked you to set your intention before creating a blog post. And the reason for this, you need to also identify who is my target audience, right? So if I'm talking about, let's say, Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, my target audience is people that are into wealth creation, people that are into using the laws of the universe like law of attraction to manifest what they want, people who are into personal development. So I understand this. So when I'm writing my blog post, I use a language that my audience is going to identify with, right? I'm not going to be talking about, just for an example, I'm not going to be talking about cooking and then, be sharing this information with people that have no desire to cook, right? If I'm going to be sharing health tips, I'm going to make sure the audience that I'm sharing this with and the traffic are interested in what I have to offer. If I'm going to be talking about making a lot of money with my blog, and that's like the main topic for what I'm promoting, I'm going to make sure the audience that I share it with is very interested in making some extra money from home, maybe part-time mothers, looking to make a better way. There's endless possibilities on different niche markets. I'm just telling you, you need to be congruent. If I started talking about on my blog things that wasn't resonating with the people I was sharing it with and there was a disconnect, it wouldn't matter how many people I got to my blog because nobody would take action. But because I'm congruent with every message that I create, because I set the intention, I identify my target audience, I know what I'm going to talk about, and I think about what would I want to hear if I was them in order for me to take action. And I set myself in their place, right? So I'm always thinking about that. How can I give them exactly what they're looking for? Because I learned this in a book I read growing up called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And he taught me this in this book, that if you can help people get what they want, you will naturally get what you want. So why not give the people exactly what they're looking for by being authentic and basically giving them the information they came to see? Now we're getting to some really juicy stuff. Next I want to talk about basically interacting with the comments on your blog. You set the intention to get comments on the blog. You're creating all this good content. Well, it's also important to interact. And what am I talking about? Well, let's say I went to your blog and I see there's 10 comments from people and they're all positive, but I don't see you reply to any of them. Well, then I would think to myself, maybe I shouldn't comment because the creator of the blog has no intention on interacting, or maybe he don't care, maybe he don't have time, whatever reasons that the prospect is thinking in their head. So I think it's really important when you get really positive comments, take the time to reply. A big part of blogging is the social engagement. It gives it authenticity. So when someone goes to one of my good blog posts and they see that there's 50 comments from people and they see me interacting and talking and thanking them and saying I appreciate you for expressing your opinion on how you felt from reading my material, I thank you for that. I look forward to seeing you at our next event. Because I take the time for that personal touch, it basically inspires other people to leave comments as well. And I'm just telling you how it works. The more comments that you have, the sexier your blog post looks, the more authenticity that it gives the blog post. And also if you're a marketer, which you are because now you're a blogger, right? If you're doing SEO, an aspect of that is social proof, and having a lot of comments is only a good thing. That's going to help you in all areas of blogging. So attract comments. Tell people what you expect. Oftentimes in my blog post, I'll provide the value. Then at the bottom, I'll say, if you gain value out of this, please leave your feedback down below. And just because I asked for it and I expected it, people actually leave their comments. And it's a beautiful thing. So that's something that you can experiment with as well and put it to use. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about, this is a little bit more advanced, but I think you're ready for this. This is a great big aspect to how my wife and I attract the results that we attract inside the Empower Network, and how we make a lot of money doing what it is that we do. And a big part of that is we use our blog. It has different facets of use, and let me just tell you what I'm talking about. One of the obvious aspects is creating content and getting traffic that didn't already know you to recognize who you are and get to know you. It's like introducing yourself to a new market. The other way that I use my blog along with my wife, and part of the reason we get the results that we get, we use our blog as a way to communicate with our list. What am I talking about? Well, every day we basically send an email to our list and we send them to a blog post. Why? Because we realize not everyone is willing to create content, and basically everyone's not blogging daily. So if I'm willing to do something the masses are unwilling to do, I know I can be very unusually successful. And part of that reason is because if I'm taking the time to build a list with my blog and generate all these leads, why shouldn't I take the time to build a relationship with the people who are subscribed to me and following me? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So maybe I'm inspired and I have something very valuable to share. I'll create a video or put it on the blog, create the blog post. Then I'll email my list that blog post so I can further establish the relationship. Because here's something you should know. Not everyone who comes across your blog the same day is going to join you. In fact, a good majority of the people who sign up under you are going to do that after building a relationship with you. And what better way to establish a relationship than with a blog? I think, in my opinion, and from my experience and the results that I create, it's the best way to further a relationship, and it makes you stand out and be different, because everyone else is just emailing people the same sales video every day and every day. So if you can stand out and be a little different and speak from the heart and be your true self and communicate with your list, I'm telling you, and if you're willing to share your story, this is the last thing I'm going to touch upon in this video. Be willing to share your story. There's a power in that, my friends. There's actually an excellent training on how to tell a compelling story and put people in a hypnotic trance. It's actually inside the Costa Rica Mastermind Intensive, and this is actually the product that I personally use to get that education on how to tell a story. You know what I mean? Now I'm able to use my story to empower hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the world, and there's nothing more powerful than that, right? It's your own story. You can move people and touch people, empower and inspire people in ways that I could never possibly do, because you can resonate with your audience at the only unique way that you can do, I can't do, right? So communicate with your audience, be authentic, share your stories, send them your blog, and use your blog not just to generate new traffic, but use your blog as a means of communication to establish the relationship, to give the people what they want. And I'm telling you, my friend, you give people what they want, you will get what you want. I hope this training really inspired you, and more than anything, that sharing this information with you has made you realize that you can do this, that anybody that has a desire and a passion for something greater in life, they can take this blogging platform, start generating a lot of social buzz, start generating a lot of leads for whatever business that it is you're promoting, start to engage people in social interaction and receive comments and viral sustainability. This is a possibility for you, my friend. I appreciate you watching this. I'm excited. I'm so pumped up that you got the Viral Beast Blogging System 2.0. I'm looking forward to seeing you around the beaches of the world. Justin Vrengia signing out. Love and light.
Folks, obviously the income examples discussed in this video are extraordinary. The income claims presented are not intended to serve as a guarantee of income. Instead, they're designed to give you an idea of what's possible. Success in this business requires leadership, hard work, and dedication. Since we want to help you make an informed decision, we've gone above and beyond with our income disclosure document. If you want to see the average earnings, please visit the page at www.empowernetwork.com/income.php.